Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast. Podcast.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Motocross Supercross podcast.
Episode 184, we are going to round 9 in Atlanta. This 250 East-West Showdown this weekend, coming off the Triple Crown in Detroit. I'm Adam, here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
We are literally going to Atlanta
Literally in the car, the mobile studio, going up I-75 to Atlanta, and I think we're in for a good weekend.
Yeah. 3:53 in the morning, by the way.
Something like that, and the weather looks like it's still going to hold up this week. It actually went from a 20% chance to a 10% chance, so I think they'll even have that roof open for at least practice, so should be a good time in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium of Atlanta, home of Super Bowl, and Chick-fil-A, of course.
Chick-fil-A, open on Saturdays.
But more importantly, this race is going to be awesome, mainly because of this 250 East-West Showdown or shootout, whatever you want to call it. I kind of like shootout, but, you know, with today's day and age, they probably called it Showdown. But
yeah, you have to respect. You have to respect those people. So we're going to call it Showdown.
I'm going to call it Shootout. I just think it sounds cooler.
Okay.
So a little Wild West action with our West Coast and our East Coast. We got both Adam Cianciarulo and his teammate Austin Forkner leading their coast, AC on the West Coast, Forkner on the East Coast, dominating so far this season, 3 straight wins, and of course cleaning up at the Triple Crown too. But as I was saying, this 250 is going to be crazy, and not just the main event either. I think the heats are going to be awesome, but also the LCQ, you know it's going to be insane.
Yeah, especially with the combination of both classes. I feel like a lot of big names are going to be out of this main event, and I'm very curious to see who those names are going to be.
Yeah, so many big names. I'm just going to tell you who's top 9 in the points because only 9 are going through. So hypothetically, if the top 9 of these points make it through, then everyone else won't make it. So for the West Coast, it would be Adam Cianciarulo, Shane McElrath, Colt Nichols, Dylan Ferrandis, RJ Hampshire, Jimmy Dakotas, Cameron McAdoo, Garrett Marchbanks, Chris Blos. That means Jess Pettis, Michael Mosman, Jacob Hayes, Martin Costello, Sean Cantrell, Jerry Robin, Enzo Lopes, all those guys, Mitchell Harrison, all those guys go into the LCQ. Already seems pretty stacked, right?
Yeah. Martin Costello with a new team as well.
That's right. So now let's look at the East Coast points. We got Forkner, Jordan Smith, Justin Cooper, Chase Sexton, Alex Martin, Mitchell Oldenburg, Kyle Peters, Martin Davalos, Kyle Cunningham. So that means Brandon Hartraft, Jordan Bailey, Lorenzo Lucurcio, Josh Osby, Blake Wharton, Thomas Covington, Anthony Rodriguez, all those guys would be going to the LCQ too. So not only are these heats going to be sick, you know this LCQ is going to be sick, and there's definitely some really good riders that aren't going to make it to this main.
Another interesting fact about this competition that we're about to, go on this weekend in Atlanta with the showdown and whatnot is the qualifiers for the respective coast, because they do it, different practices or different qualifiers for each coast. And if I'm not mistaken, they'll be taking the top 20 from those. So it's very similar to the Triple Crown, how they do that, but we're not going to have an LCQ beforehand. We're going to have the LCQ in the regular time, but only top 20 are going to be able to go into that
night show. Yeah,
into the night show.
Exactly. So some good riders some good riders are not going to even make it to the night show, which is just insane. Like
exactly.
You said.
Going back to what we were talking about, big names definitely being left out of the main event.
Yeah, so like you said, the top 20 from West Coast, top 20 from East Coast, they'll make it to the night show. There will be some alternates added to the evening program just in case, we see an injury like we saw with Cole Seeley last week.
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of Cole Seeley coming off that win coming off that heat race win in Minneapolis to not being able to race last weekend in Detroit, that's another rider we're going to have to watch for this 450 class. I didn't mention yet, we're going to be making our picks this episode. We tell you who's going to win and who's not going to win, of course, and who's going to get in the top 5 in the 450. So that is one thing we're going to be doing as well in this episode. But before we get into that, there's a couple news things we can talk about as well. We mentioned in our last podcast, Justin Barcia is out with an injury. Mike Alessi is filling in for Vince Freeze. And one thing that I thought was funny, we saw all these riders coming in, and you were telling me about Brock Shoemaker having some problems with his airline or something.
Yeah, Brock Shoemaker making it to Atlanta with shocks but not forks. So already not a good start for him for the weekend. And he posted it on his Instagram.
I wonder where it ended up. I know sometimes, like, those cases they ship them in, they're very similar to, like, gun cases, or they'll actually use, like, gun cases. So maybe, like, I don't know, they're like, oh, sorry, bro, you're in a gun case.
Well, TSA usually, don't have their act together sometimes. So this kind of stuff happens. It's just unfortunate because it's, like, the main thing that you need to ride. It's your suspension. So...
Yeah, you can't mount your front tire without it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. So, you mentioned Mike Alessi. Are we going to see a hole shot from Mike Alessi, the hole shot master?
We have to. We have to see a hole shot from Mike Alessi, or else he probably won't finish great. If he doesn't, we just have to see it. We have to see a hole shot by Mike Alessi.
Yeah, Mike Alessi. Another Mike Alessi question. Making the main event or nah?
I'm going to say yeah, bro. I think he's got some speed. Obviously it's been a while since I've seen him ride Supercross, but I'm not giving up. I think I'll put him in there to make the main for sure, yeah.
Yeah, he's been riding. He's just been up in Canada, but he's been riding. He just got that new ride with the Honda team up there, and he's pretty much brought in as a pre-season. He's only going to race 4 races before their start of their season up in Canada, which I believe it starts in April. I'm sure that they're going to try to get as much as possible done in this 4 weekends or whatever, however you want to call them.
Definitely. So we'll have to see if he can show up. I think he can, though.
Definitely a better start of the season than Zach Osborne, right?
We'll see. Well, Zach Osborne definitely has had some trouble, but he's definitely showed the flashes of potential. So I'm going to be watching this practice, too, to see who can put in these fast times. But, yeah, as we've seen the past couple weeks, it's not all about those times. You got to be able to put it all together in this main event tonight. Yeah. For these points. So let's just look at these 450 points right now as they sit. Cooper Webb will have that red plate this week, 173 points. Ken Roxon, formerly known as Red Plate Roxon. Marvin Musquin sitting in 3rd in the points. Tomac coming off his win last week in Detroit, Triple Crown, sitting in 4th. Dean Wilson sitting in that top 5 position right there. Yeah,
good for Dean. And I feel like ever since he jumped into the Husqvarna team, it's not been a good, it's been the old Dean Wilson from last year. Kind of upset about that because he was doing so great, with the whole privateer thing and just doing his own driving and whatnot. It kind of humbled him a little bit, and I feel that's what's making him do, work that much harder than for it.
Yeah, his first 4 races were definitely a lot better than the last 4 races, so we will have to see what he can do this 9th race here in Atlanta. And just to go back to these 250 West Coast guys real quick, the last time we see them on the track was in San Diego, round 5, and that was obviously the infamous mud race, lime race. I don't know. You think there was more of lime or more mud at that track?
Definitely a lot more lime. as we remember the riders getting burned and the bikes being damaged from the excessive amount of this lime or chemical that they use to dry the track rather than.
So it'll be nice to see them all back. Hopefully they're all healed up from all that stuff and ready to go. I think the East Coast guys have an advantage because they've been racing. They didn't have that week off. I don't know. I think that week off could maybe not have the positive effect on some people. I think that they're better if they're coming off a race. But I think that's something we'll have to see this week. As we said, we were trying to figure out which coast we think will do better and how we're going to judge which coast does better. So we'll take into effect a couple factors. Obviously, who wins. If Austin Forkner wins, then I think that means East Coast is better. But we'll also look at the podium. If we have 2 East Coast guys, 2 West Coast guys, whatever, I think that's a good factor. Whatever, top 5, top 10, or even just the total number of the coast riders in the main event. So let's put a poll up on our Instagram and have people vote on that. Which coast they think will do better, East Coast versus West Coast. And we'll have to evaluate that after the race and see who was right.
Yeah, make sure you tune in to our Instagram. We're going to be posting a lot at MXSX Podcast this weekend. And we're going to keep you guys up to date, even more in depth of this round in Atlanta. But going back to that comment on how we're going to measure who did better or who would do better in this showdown, this first showdown of the year, because remember we have the one in Vegas as well.
Yep.
I don't think we can judge it by the winner because as we've been talking about at the beginning of this East Coast rounds, Forkner is in a level of his own. You know, we have Forkner and then we have the rest of the pack. So Forkner winning this race, I don't think it's going to show that East Coast is way better. It's just going to show that Forkner is just in another level, like he's been doing the last races, you know, sweeping the Triple Crown last weekend and going perfect, you know, leading 80 of 81 laps written. And so I don't think, like, if Forkner wins, I don't think that means East Coast is better. I think we got to go with maybe a top 5 or even a top 10 situation and see what that's how we're going to be able to do it. And not even like that, because people are going to run with some bad luck, and having so much talent at once, you're definitely going to run into some bad luck. So yeah, I think top 3 will probably be a good, you know, like podium will be a good way to see which coast is better. And also doing it by top 10.
All right, so let's say if anyone beats Forkner from the West Coast, let's say either like Shane McElrath or Adam Cincerulo or Ferrandis or Nichols, then does that mean the West Coast is automatically better if anyone can beat Forkner?
And that's the thing, exactly. That's the thing. Like, does it really say that? You know, I don't know. I don't think so. We'll have to go more like a general population rather than head-to-head situation.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and start making some picks, as this is our picks episode. So let's start with the 250s. We're just going to pick the top 3.
Okay, and that's what I was going to say. Do you want to do the top 3 even though we're doing the showdown?
Well, you want to do top 5?
I know, it's hard, but...
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do top 5. All right. So, for my top 5...
250.
Do you want to start with 5th? Is that how we should do this?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So starting with 5th place, I am going to pick Dylan Ferrandis to get 5th place.
Okay. Wow. Nice. I like that. I do.
Okay. Good.
That's a good pick. I think my pick for 5th place is gonna be. I'm gonna go with Chase Sexton.
Chase Sexton. That's a pretty good pick.
Thank you.
For 5th place, sure. I think that's still good. That's still pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant on him because we know he runs into a little bit of trouble, and especially having everyone there may be, you know, a little bit more nerve-wracking, I think, you know, for a rider.
He's made so many mistakes every single moto.
And that's why I was like, you know, like, I'm not sure, but I'm going to give him the chance, and I'm gonna say he's going to put it together for a top 5 position. He's going to get 5th.
I got Ferrandis, you got Chase Sexton. All right. For 4th place, I am picking Justin Cooper.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, very good. I got him getting 4th. So what are you thinking for this 4th place?
I'm going to go with Nichols. Colt Nichols.
Nichols. Yep. All right, I like that pick. Nichols for 4th. All right. For my 3rd place, I am picking Jordan Smith. Even though I thought he was going to be more injured than he was, that wrist brace or whatever he did helped him, and I think he only gets better after another week of rest. So I'm going Jordan Smith to get 3rd place on that podium.
Yeah, hopefully he healed up a little bit this week, and he'll be able to show. But I'm actually going to go with Shane McElrath.
Okay.
For that third spot.
All right, the other teammate, that would be the Troy Lee Designs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him. I feel like Shane McElrath is their number 1 250 rider. So
okay.
Yeah.
2nd place, I have Shane McElrath.
Okay.
So I think he does pretty good. He started off a little, but I think he comes in strong this week to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I'm going McElrath to get 2nd. And then that means for 1st place, obviously, I'm going to pick Austin Faulkner.
Oh, okay.
You can't bet against them at this point.
So no Cincerulo for you.
Oh, how did I forget Cincerulo? Nope, that's right. No Cincerulo for me.
Wow.
I'm sticking with my picks.
Nice.
Or Nichols. I don't have Nichols up there either.
Well, I don't have Ferrandis, so I'm going to go for my 2nd place. I'm going to have AC, and then I'm going to have Faulkner for the win, which usually means that he's not going to win, because when we agree on a win, they usually do horrible.
Yeah,
so.
well, that was just last time we did that, but with Red Plate
last
Roxon.
year too. I remember a couple of times that we picked, and
I was gonna say I remember a couple times we picked the same person and they won. So I think let's just say we're batting 500 right now. All right, just to estimate.
Well, I definitely want Faulkner to keep the domination. I really do.
Yeah, I think he just looks way too good right now, and he's just way too comfortable, and you can't bet against them. So that's our 250 picks. I got Faulkner, McElrath, Smith, Cooper, Ferrandis. You got Faulkner, Cincerulo, McElrath, Nichols, and Sexton.
Nice. Let us know yours.
Let us know your picks, and let's go ahead and move on to these 450s where we will be picking the top 5 again.
As usual, yeah.
As usual. All right, so for my 5th place pick, I wanted to put this guy at 4th because he always gets 4th in my eyes, Blake Baggett, but I'm going to pick him to get 5th this week.
Okay.
Even though he looked really good last week, and he even battled like up front with, he finished right behind Cooper Webb in that 3rd race of Detroit. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I might regret putting him that far back, but there's so many names that I feel like I had to put him somewhere. So that's where I got him.
No, it's that's a good spot for him. I'm going to go with Dino, though. Dean Wilson for 5th place.
All right, sitting 5th place in the points right now, so not a bad move. Not a bad move. All right, for my 4th place, I am picking someone who I was hoping would be doing a lot better right now, but Ken Roczen. I have him missing the podium this week in 4th place. I don't know what's been up with him recently. I don't know if the shaved head thing is really going to help him, but I got him in 4th place, just missing the podium this week.
Okay, FRP for the 4th place.
Yep, that's right.
FRP, former Red Plate.
Formerly known as Red Plate Roxon. 4th place.
Okay, 4th place. That's good. For my 4th place, I'm actually going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Muskin for 4th place. And I think he's going to do good, but probably going to run into some trouble. And he's definitely not 100% yet. And I think it's shown. He's been very consistent in the 3rd place spot, but my 3rd place is going to go to former Red Plate Roxon.
All right. Cool. I got Muskin actually getting 3rd.
Yeah.
I got him making the podium this week. I think he'll start to really ramp things up towards the halfway point of the season. And for my 2nd place, I'm going Eli Tomac. Eli Tomac for 2nd. Even though he looked really good last week, I don't know. I'm still in the Webb wagon, so that's why I got Cooper Webb coming out on top this time.
Okay.
Red Plate RPC. Red Plate Coupe. So I'm guessing. I'm just gonna guess your picks.
Well, I don't think there's anything to guess here.
You're not going to pick Webb to win.
I'm not. I'm
I
going to
didn't
pick
think so.
Webb for second and then Tomac for first. Pretty similar top fives for
Dean Wilson and Blake Baggett.
yeah, but everything else just kind of moving around a little bit. We're going to stick to the points how they kind of are, and yeah, I mean, Eli Tomac coming from a great weekend last weekend in the Triple Crown, showing what he's the former champion of that class or of that mode of racing, and I still think he should be able to run a number one whenever they do a Triple Crown, but that's just me.
Yeah, he did win the Triple Crown Series last year, but so yeah, just to go over these picks, I got Webb, Tomac, Musquin, Roczen, Baggett. You got Tomac, Webb, Roczen, Musquin, Wilson. So a couple people that we didn't put up there, Cole Seeley, obviously having his problems last week. We'll see how good he is this week. Joey Savacci, who obviously had some flashes of hope and also had some, struggles this season so far.
Definitely getting better though. He's definitely making progress, and yeah, but Joey Savacci, not worthy of my top 5 picks, especially not to this championship. How he's coming, how he's progressing. I don't think he's ready for that.
And another person we didn't pick for our top 5s is Chad Reed. He got third last week. He did get that podium last week.
Yeah.
Can he keep it up this week and finish on the podium again?
I sure hope so.
Yeah, we definitely hope so, but neither of us think so.
Yeah.
According to our picks.
Triple Crown definitely gives you that edge of making the field more even due to the short races, and it gives you that even field, and it's definitely an advantage. I wish we did more, or even just like a little championship of just Triple Crowns, kind of like they do in Canada. But
and also there is one pick that we forgot to make, and that is Claudio's wild card pick. This week the wild card is 14th place. So why don't you tell us who's going to get 14th place this week?
For my wild card, I'm going to pick for position 14th someone that you said he was going to make the main, and it's going to be Mike Alessi.
Mike Alessi. Wow, okay. That's a pretty good pick right there. A couple other riders I think that could be in that spot is Tyler Bowers.
Yeah.
Or Justin Hill. Zach Osborne. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, that's why don't you make a pick? Give me a Adams wild card.
All right, well, for my wild card then, I'm just going to go ahead and pick Tyler Bowers.
Okay.
So the results from last week, we had Justin Hill getting 13th, Tyler Bowers getting 14th. So I think any of those guys could do it. And in the points right now, 13th in the points is actually Justin Bogle, and 14th Vince Freezy, Justin Hill 15th, Tyler Bowers 16th. So yeah, I do think any of those are good. But yeah, so I'll just stick with my pick, Bowers, for that 14th spot. And yeah, that's the wild card pick. So it should be an interesting weekend. Definitely going to be exciting in this 250 class, and obviously the 450 has been just insane this whole year. Are we going to see another close finish?
Packed.
I think so.
Packed. Yeah, Tyler Bowers will be able to make up some points on Justin Barsha after he got disqualified for the aggressive move he put on Bam Bam.
And I would love to see some aggressive moves like that this week, maybe even a fight. We haven't seen any of those yet this year. I want to see something go down, and I think something's going down in Atlanta. So is there anything else we should add to this episode of our picks?
Yeah, don't forget to stay tuned to the MXSX Podcast Instagram and Facebook. We will be trying to keep you up to date. If you guys have any comments or anything you guys would like us to do while we're out here, please don't hesitate to let us know at MXSX Podcast. And yeah, Hotlanta.
Thanks for tuning in. See you guys next time. Peace.